Okay, this is the feather and fan pattern, and it uses knit stitch, purl stitch, yarn over, and knit two together, and basically that's all it is. It has 4 rows, and for such a beautiful, elegant pattern, it's deceptively simple is what I would call it. And so I'm starting off here with a sport weight yarn, number 15 needles. Use nice big needles for lacy open pattern. And I used a slip knot and a thumb cast on 38. So let's see how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, so let's go on 25. 30. Remember, it's just a twist and slide on. Now, this pattern is multiples of 18. So you have 18 for the pattern, and then there's the 2 extra here for the side, and that's what gives the 38. So we're ready. The first 2 rows for the setup, you just knit, and you knit front, well, you knit the front and you turn around and knit the wrong side, and that's a garter stitch. Keeps the edges from curling, actually. There's one reason why you would knit all one side and knit the other side for a garter stitch. And with this thumb cast on, the stitches are not on real tight, so you kind of have to mess around with them. These needles aren't really very sharp, and this yarn is very slippery, so I'm just going to fool around a bit. The first row is going to be a little iffy, but by the time, oh, lost that stitch. I'm going to put that back on the needle. By the time I get to the second rows, everything will be just fine. I'm working with Handspun Surrey alpaca, which is really smooth. And actually, though I've spun plenty of Surrey, never actually used it for anything. So this will be my first time getting a good look at what this Surrey is going to look like. It's going to have marvelous drape, that I can say for sure. Okay, halfway there. Okay, so the dog's in the background cheering me on. Go ahead and knit the second setup pattern, and then we'll be ready to start with the first row of the 4 pattern. Stitches, first 2 rows, sorry, are a setup row, and so we're ready now to start the pattern. First row of the pattern is a knit, so knit across for the first row. For the second row, you're going to knit and then purl all the way across until the last stitch. Just keep the pattern. And then the last stitch you knit. So no matter what you end on, the very last stitch needs to be a knit stitch. So knit, purl. This is going to be really slick with this yarn. And keep control of it. Okay, so knit, purl, purl. Right, moving a lot better here. Sometimes people will say, well, a needle's a needle and cheap needles are okay. And in general, they are okay. But when you're doing things like socks or lace work or any fine work, you'll find that cheap needles, I think these are Boyle, which is pretty much you could pick up at any craft store or Walmart. They don't have that sharp tip on the end, so that if I had a sharper needle, I could pick up these stitches a lot better. So when I do my socks, or when I'm knitting the lace, I've got really nice sharp tips on my other needles. And those needles, those sock needles, cost me $14 for a pair, which is not like a whole lot, but compared to a $3 or $4 Boyle needle at Walmart, you know, you could cut it to a couple $100, begin to add up. If you, those are the kind of needles you buy. So normally, excuse me, sorry about that. Normally, I only get the really sharp needles for things like socks and lace. My one pair is a Turbo Sock Rockets. I gotta check. Knit, purl. So this should have been a purl stitch. And then the other ones are maybe they're Haya, I think. And they're a lace stitch. Okay, so here I am nearing the end. And I find that I've got all the way knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl. And then I get to the end. So this one is knit because that's the pattern. And this one is knit because you knit the last one at the end. Okay, so row 3 is the hardest row, and it really isn't that hard. So knit 1 at the beginning as our border stitch. Okay, now you're knitting 2 together, and it's the same as knit 1, except you're just putting it through 2 loops. You knit 2 together 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, you're going to yarn over and knit 1 6 times. So yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, that's 2, yarn over, knit, that's 3, yarn over, knit, 4, yarn over, knit, 5, yarn over, knit 6, and then once again you knit 2 together 3 times, and that is the pattern. Okay, so then you repeat the pattern, and if you had, let's say that you had more than just the 2 multiples of 18 on there, then you would just repeat that same block of pattern over and over again. So here we go again. Knit 2 together 3 times. Three. Oh, I'm having a hard time getting that through. Okay, so now yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2, yarn over, knit 3, yarn over, knit 4, yarn over, knit 5, yarn over, knit 6, and for the end, knit 2 together 3 times. And then the last stitch knit. Then for row 4 is just knit all the way across. Okay. Be careful when you knit all the way across, not to let those yarn overs slide off. Okay, and it's getting easier for me to knit because I have something to hold on to for the work. And get a better opening there. And just knit that all the way across. So our pattern is the first row knit, second row knit, purl, repeat it till you get to the very last stitch, and then the last stitch you knit. Then on the third row you knit the first stitch, you knit 2 stitches together, and you do that 3 times. Then you yarn over and knit 6 times as a pair. So yarn over, knit, yarn over, knit, yarn over, knit 6 times. Then you knit 2 together 3 times, and you repeat that. And for row number 4, it's just knit across. And you'll be able to see the fan, like the waves, and the feather beginning to take shape. Your piece will have a wavy look. Okay, let's have a peek at it. See if we can see it. We can see it starting to take shape. See, starting to take shape. Fan starting to take shape. The feathers up here. All right, I'm going to work on some more, and I'll be back.